welcome back. In 2017, there were 3,500 families with children in Massachusetts' Emergency Assistance Shelter program. This number does not count those families who are doubled up, living in unsafe conditions, or sleeping in their cars. The high cost of housing has made Massachusetts a difficult place for those on the fringes of society to find a stable place to call home. Trish Alpert, the executive director of Bethany Hill Place, is here to tell us about an amazing program that has been very successful in helping people take that next step. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks, it's great to be here.
So, can you start by telling us what Bethany Hill Place is?
Okay, I'll start and you'll just have to stop me. So, Bethany Hill Place is what we call educational housing. And it's really about pairing a very real basic resource and need, which you just talked about as housing, with educational opportunities and a learning environment. So what makes us really different is that all of our residents, the folks who live at Bethany Hill Place, they share one thing in common. They've committed to kind of pursuing an educational goal. And it's one that they create for themselves. And it's a job or an education aspiration or a life goal of theirs that they commit to and they pursue with all of our staffing and our resources and our volunteers.
Can you roll right into talking about the history, because it's pretty interesting?
Yeah. So and I'll just say that we're in South Framingham and we have about 41 units. At any given time, there's about 100 people living at Bethany Hill Place, and that is individuals and families, adults, children, every age range, and it breaks out about 55 to 45 adults to children. So it really is, it's a very diverse community. It's like a neighborhood in a building, I like to say. And the reason that we're there is I can't talk about Bethany Hill without talking about the Sisters of St. Joseph of Boston. So Bethany Hill Place is not a religious organization, but we were founded by one. The Sisters of St. Joseph of Boston have been in the Boston area for over 150 years. In South Framingham, they have this beautiful campus, and they've always been concerned with social justice issues and the poor and the marginalized. And in the 1990s, just like today, the issues of homelessness were on their mind, and particularly family homelessness. I think for the first time people were seeing a lot of families become homeless. And they were upset that the response was not adequate. There wasn't enough affordable housing. And so the sisters took their own resources. They took a building of theirs on the campus, a beautiful building, and put a lot of resources into rehabilitating and creating all these apartments. But they didn't want to just do housing. They wanted to do what they knew was something that would really affect poverty. Having been educators for 150 years, they wanted to make sure that there was also this kind of this anti-poverty lever, and so that families can access, parenting support and life skills and money management and the kind of one-on-one counseling that it takes to kind of get back into school or finish something or take the next step with the job.
And how do people or families get placed with you?
Well, for the most part, we have wait lists, and they're managed in a couple different places. We partner with SMOC, which is the Regional Housing Administrator for a lot of the units in our building. We also have some units that we manage the wait list for on site, and it can be kind of confusing about the back end of the subsidies. So I always just encourage people to contact us, and we'll help them navigate.
Can you give us a specific success story?
Just one. I'm going to sneak in a couple. I think that there are so many different trajectories for the people who've lived there, who've spent just a few years or many years. We do know after being up there for 23 years, we actually have people come back and talk to us and tell us things. And we were in touch with a woman who I didn't know, obviously, because I've only been there for 7 years, but who lived there very early on and was homeless and was pregnant and homeless at the same time. And her child is about to graduate from college, and she owns a small business. And she, not only is she successful, but she is very thoughtful about giving back and giving opportunities to folks who've been marginalized to work. So I think that's the hallmark. Also, a few years ago, we celebrated our 20th anniversary, and we did an annual report that looked back on people who had left and had done really well. And we were thinking about success stories. Who's doing this? Who's got a job in biotech? Who's, very happily working along? And not only were they all kind of successful in what they were doing, but they were all volunteering or giving back or giving to the community. In fact, one of the children who grew up at Bethany Hill a few years ago finished her degree and became a nurse. And she was helped with some scholarships, and now she's on an Indian reservation in Oklahoma, kind of giving back as a nurse. So
it's just incredible.
It is. I could tell more stories, but I think the real richness is that there are just so many different ways, but the thread is that really it's the community at Bethany Hill that really makes a difference for people, and the expectation of serving others is it's kind of a way of life, and it makes you more powerful. So I think that stays with people, no matter what help they've gotten. If the expectation is that they're going to be helping other people too, it really stays with people.
So we're almost out of time, or we are out of time.
Sorry.
But what do you want people to know going forward about Bethany Hill Place?
Well, I really don't want Bethany Hill Place to continue being this hidden gem. I think we've been there for 23 years, and we really want people to know that we're there, and we're excited. We're very grateful for all the volunteers that we work with. But we have a special event coming up next month. On Thursday, April 27th, we're going to have our spring gala. And it's a wonderful celebration. It's a really fun time in a beautiful setting. But most importantly, it's the time that we can really hear directly from a resident about their experiences, about what they've overcome, and what they have done. So it's a very meaningful night that way, and it also is our signature fundraising event. About all the money that's raised that night is about half of our educational budget for the year. So it's really critical for us, and we welcome people to come to support in any way and get involved. And I'll leave with the website information, www.bethanyhillplace.org. Check us out.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And if you folks will stay right there, the Framingham Beat will be right back.